Welcome to the show. Let me start by saying that I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This information is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. It is April 15th, 2022, at the time I'm making this recording. This is a short video about Canberra Energy, stock symbol CEI. It's been a short week. We've had Good Friday, which made the week shorter. People are thinking about taxes. And we're expecting a bunch of filings to come out soon. So, as a result, next week should be very interesting, and expect strangeness. So, because this week is going to be short, because this particular video is going to be short, I'm not going to go over the short attack and the short hedge funds that was in the prior video, which links will be provided. But just be aware that there's a large short position against Canberra Energy. And we know who some of the players are, and what they've done. Okay. Also, I won't be going over the details of what exactly is inside Canberra Energy. There's a corporate structure. It's more than just oil, actually. That's in the previous video. Check it out. Links will be provided. But there's some ESG info. There's some ESG carbon capture technology in there. There's renewable diesel. There's as well as just oil as well too, right? So there's a ton of stuff in there. So let's go over the stock price. So Canberra Energy ended the week at 87 cents a share. Overall, it was up, and last week it ended at 76 cents a share. So that's about a 14% gain this week. If we look at WTI, or the West Texas Intermediate Crude Oil price, we see that it's up significantly. It's up to $105 a share. It did drop down in the week earlier to below $100 a share, and now it's ended the week at significantly above $100 a share. So that's quite good news for Canberra Energy, which has some oil and gas assets there. So overall, oil is up. And if we look at Canberra in the long term, Canberra's down. Right? It's down significantly from its 52-week high, which was $4.85. It's down about 82%. If it just recovered back to that all-time high, right? If it just recovered back to that annual high, that's about a 5.57x gain. That's a fair amount of gain just to recover. So this is why we're interested in Canberra Energy, right? There's a lot of potential in the stock price here. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This information is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. So, so the main reason that we're interested in Canberra is we expect some filings to happen in the April 15th to 22 timeframe. That's Friday till next week. That's when James Doris has indicated he will be doing those filings, and those filings should bring the financials for Canberra Energy up to date and cause a potential large increase in stock price. If we look at what happened in the after-hours trading, we see that it was up significantly, and it hit about 90 cents a share 3 times and ended it at about 90 cents a share or so. So I don't pay too much attention to after-hours trading because it's usually light volume and retail is not involved. So there's large areas that are not working there, but it gives an idea, right? So most of the trading of Canberra Energy is in the dark pools, so it happens. So most of the trading happens off exchange. If you look at the data, it looks as though there's about 70% of shares are traded off exchange. That means that only about 30% of shares are traded in lit exchanges. Okay, it's an important point to know. So price discovery may not be taking place yet, right? Because we're seeing a lot of stuff happening off exchange. Again, Canberra is highly affected by the price of oil because they have a lot of producing oil and gas assets, right? And oil is up. It's ended. If we look at the 1-year oil chart, This is going out about a year or so. We can see that it's up significantly, right? If we look at what Camber's worth based upon just what their assets are listed at, thanks to Try Me Events, TME, on Twitter, he put this spreadsheet together. Links will be provided, but he's saying it's worth at least $4.14 a share now. And if it's valued fairly just based upon its current assets and the current situation, it should be somewhere around $26.90 a share. That's a significantly higher price than what we're currently seeing now. So those are some fundamental price targets that he's got, which are pretty high, which are pretty good. I mean, that it stands to reason that if we hit those price targets, that'll be very good for long shareholders. So again, I just put together a quick possibilities of gains here. If we get back to the 52-week high, that's $4.85. We're looking at about a 5.57x gain, 457% profit there. If we get back to just $5 a share, which is the projected price just before there was a short attack, you're looking at close to 5.75x gains there. If we double that, because there was a short attack, so it could easily get to $10, right? Because that's where it was headed towards before a short attack. That's about that's a huge 1,000% profit there, right? If we look at where Try Me Events says we could easily get to, which is $25 a share. Again, that's based on fundamentals. We're looking at something in the range of a 28x gain, 2,700% gain. 2,700% profit. And if it gets anywhere near any of those values, there's a strong possibility that a short squeeze will occur, because again, there is a large short interest position there. And if a short squeeze occurs, then you're looking $50, $75 a share easy, right? And so the possibilities of this stock in terms of short-term price potential is huge, right? Again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This information is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only, right? So all of this is contingent upon what the CEO of Camber Energy says in his logs, right? He's expecting to get some filings done with the SEC, and he projected a range of about April 15th to 22nd, and that's when the filings should be completed. And if we look at Viking, which is a subsidiary of Camber, they've started doing their filings, right? They just filed their Form 10Q for Q3 of 2021, and there's a bunch more filings to go, of course. This is not the only filing to be done. So I want to do a quick shout out and say thank you to Roller Pigeons. She put together a list of what the filings that are needed to be accomplished. Check out her video. It's a CEI update for 15/2022, and links will be provided, of course. But she did a great job, and she just put together this list of what filings need to be done. I put it into a spreadsheet so it's easy to see, easy to read. These are the filings that need to be done. It's not too bad. There's 2 filings for Viking, and there's 6 filings for Camber Energy, right? And so they just need to be done by next week or so. That's what we're looking at. So the plan, the reason why we're doing all these filings and whatnot, right, is the paperwork is messed up. It needs to be cleaned up. And Doris is cleaning up the paperwork. And once that paperwork is cleaned up with the SEC and whatnot, then we can move forward. The plan from that point is to announce a merger between Viking and Camber Energy. Again, if you looked at the org chart of how it works out, Camber owns about 60% of Viking right now, but once all the paperwork is up to date and filed correctly, then we can have a merger. And to do the merger, we need a shareholder vote, of course, so everyone has to vote on the merger. Once that merger takes place, once that once the voting is done and the merger takes place, then we'll have a new company with a new CUSIP, and we'll be moving forward from there at that point, right? So all the old CEI shares and all the Viking shares will be retired, and brand new shares will be issued. So we're looking at some very interesting things that can happen along the way, right? The steps 1 through 3, which is what we're thinking, that may result in the stock price increasing significantly along the way. And step 4 could result in a possible gamma or short squeeze, right? So again, there's a huge potential here. So Camber has gotten some good press lately. It's hit the news media because if we look, Benzinga did a best stocks of 2022 bracketing, and they had a whole bunch of stocks from the healthcare, tech, Wall Street bets, and EV industries. And as of last week, they came down to the semifinals, and it was just basically Tesla and versus Camber. That was the last two stocks left for the championship, right? And it turns out Camber won. They were the clear winner, and that means that they're going to be getting a lot of news, and people will be looking twice at Camber and saying, "Hey, what stock is this that actually beat out Tesla? What's going on there?" So that may cause a lot of inquiries as to what Camber Energy is. Okay, so what are my overall thoughts on Camber? Overall, again, this is not financial advice. This is just me talking, right? This is just my overall thoughts. I think it's a very high risk stock. If you're not the type of person who can deal with high risk stocks, Camber is definitely not for you, right? I mean, there's a strong. The risk is that they will not be able to complete their filing dates, and if they cannot complete their filing dates, there's a possible danger of delisting. Now, the New York Stock Exchange has given them till May to complete this, right? Camber thinks they can do it by the end of, by April 22. So if they can get it done by April 22, that'll be great. But there is a risk, right? So if they get everything done, I think that they, it could easily do a 5x to 10x based upon, just doing what they need to do, right? So my plan is that Camber is part of an overall larger plan, right? I have some holdings of GameStop, Metamaterials, Torchlight Preferred Shares, etc. If Camber takes off, I will reinvest a lot of those profits into these other stocks like GameStop, Metamaterials, Torchlight Preferred Shares, right? That's my overall plan, right? Increase those gains along the way. And I think that it's possible, with the way things are going, that Camber might take off before GameStop or Metamaterials. It's just possible, right? We know that oil and gas are doing excellent right now. They're over $100 a barrel. Camber Energy will be able to take advantage of those high oil prices. That will mean increased revenue, increased earnings. They should be able to capitalize on those very high oil prices. So they could easily do a 10x potential just on that alone. So that means, that as a shareholder, we could be doing quite well. They know what they have to do. They just have to execute according to plan. There's no magic bullet that's required here at this point. They just have to do what's in their plan. And a large part of this is possible because there is a very large short interest right now, right? We know Carousel Capital has shorted a large amount of stock, and they've driven the price of the stock down all the way down to, under $1 from $4.85 or so. And, they stand to lose a lot of money if Camber Energy, if the stock price of Camber Energy starts going back up. And there are probably other boutique short hedge funds in there that have done similar things, right? So, if you're a company that stands to lose a lot of money, you're going to do everything you can to prevent that from happening, right? So expect a lot of dirty tricks that's going to be happening next week or so. Expect a lot of FUD in the air. Expect a lot of people trying to get you to sell your shares because, that's how the game is played, right? Just before you win, expect to have a lot of FUD and uncertainty in the air. And that's the way it works. With that, that's the end of my update for Canberra Energy. I'm expecting a lot of interesting price action next week. Again, let me end by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This information is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. With that, goodbye.